Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. Fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy the Judgmental Podcast. I'm Leroy. No Philip today. He's on vacation. And we have Jay. Jay is like the seven-time seven-time returning champion.
Seven-time returning.
So what's been going on? Well, I've been talking to you 3 weeks straight, but
Yeah, but I got just kind of gearing up for getting back into school,
mhm.
starting the school year again. I got training and stuff to do, I guess, to help us prepare for whatever's about to come for this school year.
Now, when does school start, dear?
It's supposed to start the day after Labor Day.
Okay, it's the same thing here. It started early here too. Same thing. Well, let's get to it. So we going back to your quote unquote hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina, your somewhat hometown.
Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah.
Right. Episode 67, we talked about True Colors Brewery Company, whose owner George Teller III hires current gang members and whose company never made a profit off of the brewing company in 3 years, 4 years, I think it was, 2017, 2018.
Mhm.
There was a shooting at George Teller House in Providence neighborhood where two people were killed, Cordese Tyson and Breonna Taylor. Well, get this, everyone. Someone set fire to the gravesite of Cordese. Here's the video.
The grave site of a murder victim. Crews responded to Calvary Memorial Cemetery early this morning, and they found the fire burning at Cordese Tyson's gravesite. They are not sure if someone intentionally set it, but they have said that no other graves had any damage. Tyson and Breonna Williams died in a shooting July 25th at a home in the Ogden area of New Hanover County. Investigators have identified Tyson as a validated gang member. They have not made any arrests in that double murder case.
Okay, now there's more to the story. Two people have been charged in connection with the July double murder that happened inside the home of the chief operating officer of True Colors Brewing Company. Darrell Green, Amonte Bell, and Raquel Adams are each charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. I guarantee you that conspiracy to commit murder comes from them texting each other on the phone about this shit. They are being held in a New Hanover County jail under no bond. All 3 men are validated gang members, Sheriff Edmund Mann, not the American Public Hearing. Also on July the 24th, 2 people were shot and killed at the home of the chief brewery operating officers, George Teller III. A third person was shot but survived the attack. Deputies were dispatched at the home in a Providence neighborhood off of Middle Sound Loop Road at 5:44 a.m. after receiving a 911 call from the shooting victim who survived. They located her in the home suffering from 2 gunshot wounds to the shoulder and the wrist. She was transported by ambulance to the hospital. Deputies continued to search the home and located the bodies of Cordese Tyson and Breonna Taylor, who also had been shot. Deputies then located George Teller III. This was new, everyone, that George Teller III was actually the CEO of the brewing company was actually in the house when the shooting took place. See, the last time we talked about it, they didn't mention that he was in the house.
Oh,
Deputies then located George Teller III inside a home, hiding in the bathroom, court documents read. It was determined that Mr. Taylor was the owner of the home and Cordese Tyson lived in the upstairs bedroom. Mr. Taylor stated that he was awoken sometime after 5 a.m. by a sound of 4 or 5 gunshots. Upon hearing the gunshots, he retrieved his shotgun as protection and hid under the bathroom until deputies arrived and announced themselves. Mr. Taylor stated that during the investigation that he had Nest cameras connected to his cell phone. Mr. Taylor agreed to allow detectives to look at the camera footage on his cell phone, but a short time later revoked consent to do so. Mr. Taylor stated to detectives during the interviews that he had made phone calls from his cell phone to the deceased subjects, Cordese Tyson. During the time that the shooting took place inside his home. The probable cause affidavit filed to obtain search warrant continues. So the CEO hears all his gunshots going on. He doesn't call the police. He calls the guy that's supposed to be upstairs. That's ridiculous. Mr. Taylor was the only person found inside the residence that was not harmed. Mr. Taylor had barricaded himself in a bathroom with a shotgun and a handgun and admitted to the detective that he called Cordice Tyson and another man when he heard gunshots, but did not call 911. Mr. Taylor stated that he heard the front door open around 5 o'clock and heard gunshots, the affidavit says. Mr. Taylor had recently given Cordice Tyson 30 days to move out of the residence. Mr. Taylor stated that this was because of Cordice's recent erratic behavior. I said erotic. He was concerned that Cordice has been partying a lot with gang members and drinking a lot. He also said that the handgun found in his bathroom was the one that he found about a week ago in the upstairs bedroom where multiple gang members were living. It's a whole bunch of bullshit in this case here. And I don't know why. I don't know what can they charge George Taylor with, but he should be charged with something.
Yeah, because it's weird all around. Right. Why you got gangbangers living in your house, man?
Exactly, in a $300,000 house in the suburbs, and this is a place to have HOA. Boy, I bet you them people would hated all that shit going on in there.
Mm-hmm. Wilmington.
I
gotta say
that. What you say about Wilmington?
What did I say about Wilmington?
About how it was very segregated.
Oh, the train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the train tracks. So I guess he brought them on the other side to show them what life was like. Work out good for him.
Right. It was submitted by investigators as grounds to seize Taylor's cell phone. They believe it may contain evidence relating to the murders, the identity of the subjects, or the co-conspirators who committed the crime. The search warrant granted. Now, Ed McMahon, not the Public Clearinghouse guy, the sheriff, did an interview with WECT talking about the case. Here's the report.
This ought to be interesting.
Responsible for the brutal murders. There are questions tonight about whether one of the victims was part of a setup. I took those concerns to Sheriff McMahon this morning in an exclusive interview you will only see here on WECT. He acknowledges that information has been shared with his office and says they are looking into everything. And for the first time, he's sharing his thoughts on True Colors.
Let's go back to the morning of these murders. It's early morning. There have been conversations about how the killers were able to get into the house. Was this a forced entry?
Can't talk a lot about the case, but I can tell you that it was not forced entry into the residence.
George Taylor III was at the house at the time this happened.
Yes.
How was he not shot?
Again, we really can't talk about a lot of particulars, but he's definitely a blessed man.
True Colors obviously hires gang members, rivals. Corey Tyson was a validated gang member, was living at the chief operating officer's home. Has True Colors, or specifically George Taylor III and his father, George Taylor, helped in this investigation?
I know that they were both very cooperative with our detectives and made themselves available anytime we needed them or had questions for them.
May I ask you, Sheriff, were you in support of True Colors when it was initiated?
So I've always not understood the principle of I want you to stay in the gang. I've never really spoken on it publicly, and like I said, I've never met with anyone from True Colors on it. They didn't ask me my opinion, so I didn't give it. But I could say 100% right now that my opinion is it's not going to work unless we get you out of the gangs. Again, Sheriff Ed McMahon's opinion.
One final question on the three suspects.
Well, he kind of said the same thing we said about it.
Yeah.
but he just danced over the topic, but he
Well, that's what
pretty
he's
much
doing the
said,
whole time anyway. So
yes.
Suspects. Can you give us a description of the three suspects?
I would say, from my opinion, from what they've been charged with, that they are, ruthless, vicious criminals who do not need to be in any community. They need to be in jail and in prison from the type of behavior when you take somebody's life anyway, but that viciously, not ruthlessly. That they're just very, they're bad people.
Sheriff McMahon would not say if there are more suspects, but he did say they are following some leads.
There's more suspects, of course. But
mhm.
what she didn't ask them is, okay, the three guys that committed the murder, they didn't, it wasn't a forced entry. So where they all was all in the same gang and knew each other, correct?
What it seems like.
Yeah, but she didn't even mention that.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, that was an interview that my man just danced over everything. But what were you about to say?
Nah, I wasn't gonna say anything. I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna say the only thing I guess is somewhat on topic is shout out to Frances Weller. She's been on WECT for 150 years, and it's cool to see her still on there.
Yeah, I see. I see she's up in age. How old do
Yeah,
you think? How old do you think she is?
I don't even know, man. She's been on there ever since I can remember.
Yeah, I see. Especially see when she's like at the desk, you could tell that she's older.
Hmm.
But when she did that little sit down interview, you could say like, "Oh boy, this woman got some age on her."
Hmm.
But it's all good. It's all right. Keep getting them checks. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know how your checks look in a market like doing news and woman doing news and woman to North Carolina. I don't know, but it should be enough. She dressed nice. Her hair is intact.
it's her career, man. I told her she's been on there forever. She ain't going nowhere. She's probably gonna die having that job.
Uh-huh. Because she definitely looked like she like in her late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, shout out to her, but there's more to this story and it's going to keep coming out. Well, when more information come out, we'll give it to you
Of
because
course. It's
that
this this is a rabbit hole, man. They're gonna find way more stuff because a lot of it just does not make any sense whatsoever. And just like how you pointed out, what's his name? McMahon, he no straight answers, was all
yeah.
over the place. There was
Hmm.
no point of even interviewing him.
Exactly. And George Taylor, a middle-aged white man, is living in the house with this active gangbanger in a $300,000 house. And does George Taylor? They never mentioned that. Does he have a family or anything like that? Because why in the world are they living in a house together?
We know nothing about the guy. Like I'm telling you, it's some weird stuff going on.
Yep.
You got a mansion and all them dudes over there, like it's
Exactly. They got girls over there. They playing music. Like, come on now. Was you partaking in these activities or not?
you ain't even gotta ask.
Yeah, well, we'll give it to you. There's something that, well, of course, this is not nationwide, but it should be because we already know that this guy's up to something.
Hmm.
But it's not nationwide, but we'll give you the information. You keep listening to us, we'll give it to you. Well, if you're in North Carolina, you already know about it, but a lot of you aren't. So,
Oh yeah, I will say another thing too. To burn somebody's grave, that's some real hate right there.
oh yeah,
That's
uh-huh,
crazy.
right. So we stand in the South and we go on to Florida. Altamont Springs, Florida. I'm bad with names, ladies and gentlemen, so I know I probably said it wrong. Springs, Florida, a suburban city in Seminole County. A mother, Shamaya Lynn, was killed when her toddler shot her in the head during a Zoom call. Here's the report.
Really sad update to a death investigation tonight. Police are now saying a mom of two was accidentally shot and killed by one of her young kids. Altamont Springs police say they got a call yesterday about a woman who appeared to need some help along Spanish Trace Drive. They say the caller told them during a work-related Zoom call. This all happened over a Zoom call. They saw a toddler in the background, heard a noise. Police say 21-year-old Shamaya Lynn fell backward. She did not return to the call. Police say the toddler.
She was shot. Of course, she didn't return to the call.
found a loaded gun, which was not secured in the apartment. We're working with the state attorney's office to see if any charges will be filed against the owner of that gun, who they say is the children's father.
And when I first heard this, I said, "Oh shit, Mama's boyfriend struck again." And it pretty much happened. But he was the baby father, but it was still her boyfriend. Mama's boyfriend. They all got smoked weed all day, got guns all in the house, with not protected. And the little kid got access to the gun. Musk was sitting somewhere where easily he can access it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you doing with guns sitting out like that for a toddler to just like come out, play with it? You know what I mean?
Mama's boyfriend.
It's crazy.
Mama's boyfriend strikes again. That's the only reason why I played the report. Mama's boyfriend, they mess with these dudes that got guns wide open area where a kid has access to it. First of all, I don't know if he lived there or not, but she should never allow him to have guns out and open like that when you have little children. And if you do have a gun, you at least should just put it in a safety box. At least you should have it in a safety box.
Lock it up and hide it too.
Right.
Because kids find ways to open stuff up.
Exactly.
Kids are crafty, so they know.
Well, the next report: Eric Brown, a local realtor, and his client Roy Thorne, 2 of the 4 black people that live in Wyoming. Wyoming, a great frontier. Black people actually live there, ladies and gentlemen. They were put in handcuffs during a show Sunday after armed Wyoming police officers responded to a house report of a break-in. Here's the report.
A realtor put in handcuffs. Earlier this week, we told you how Wyoming police cuffed a realtor and client after responding to a report of a possible break-in. Tonight, we have the police body cam video of that incident. And News 8's Ruben Juarez is in the newsroom now to show us the police perspective in this. Ruben?
Hey, Sue, in the video, you see a handful of officers are showing up to the home. The realtor, his client, and the client's teenage son all detained, but after police verified the realtor was doing his job and showing the home, all 3 are uncuffed. Last Sunday afternoon, Wyoming police officers showed up to a home on Sharon Avenue in Wyoming after receiving calls about a break-in. The home had been broken into on July 24th, 8 days before this incident. Officers call for the 3 individuals to come out of the home.
All right, one at a time.
The first person to come out is Roy Thorne, a client of realtor Eric Brown. While Thorne is being handcuffed, another officer is seen pointing a gun. Thorne explains to the officer detaining him that he's there to see the house with his realtor.
Ain't buying this one.
The officer then
You said how?
Ain't buying this one. Ain't lying about that one.
explains to they're trying to verify what exactly is going on. Police then call for the realtor to come out.
Neighbors are calling in that you guys are breaking into the place. I'm the realtor.
Moments later, an officer takes a look at Brown's wallet and confirms Brown is a realtor who has access to the home.
Yeah, if you pull that out, by law, we have to carry that. Okay. That's my license. Okay.
The officers then bring the realtor to the front of the home, take the cuffs off, and explain to him that the person who previously had been arrested for breaking into the home has a similar car to his.
The other black guy in Wyoming.
Which prompted a concerned neighbor to make the initial call to authorities.
Yeah, our other officer arrested someone here a couple days ago, and he was in a black Mercedes. Yeah, and my car definitely looks like a Mercedes. So.
Eventually, all 3 individuals are uncuffed, and officers apologize about the incident, calling it a misunderstanding.
Thank you, gentlemen. You have a better day. Sorry for the confusion.
We did reach out to Wyoming police to see if we could interview them about the incident, but the department declined. We also reached out to realtor Eric Brown, but he was not available today. Reporting in the newsroom, Ruben Juarez, News 8.
All right, so we have a Latino and 4 black people live in Wyoming, the great frontier. What the hell's going on? Well, here
I was gonna say they said he didn't come back to talk. He just wanted to wash his hands of it all, man.
Yeah, but he did speak to Eric Brown, the realtor, did speak to the news. Here's the report.
Oh, okay.
First at 10, we're hearing from the Wyoming realtor who was detained while showing a home this week. This comes after Wyoming police released video and audio from the incident yesterday. Our News 8's Ruben Juarez spoke with the realtor who said being detained was...
I'm shocked that this newscaster here, I don't know her name, but you see how she have her hair braided?
She's good looking too.
Right.
She looked very black.
Right. And you hardly ever see them with their hair braided and stuff like that. But I know she like, damn, I got to go to Wyoming. Oh, hold on. There's another black person. So that's 5.
That's 5. Wyoming's coming up.
Yeah.
...dramatic and wants the department to reevaluate their procedures. Ruben?
Hey, Whitney, Eric Brown feels the whole situation could have been avoided if officers would have had more information before showing up to the home where the incident occurred.
And anyone inside, come out with your hands in the air, do it now!
It's an incident that lives afresh in realtor Eric Brown's memory. Officers with their guns drawn calling for his friend and client, Roy Thorne, to come out of the home. Thorne was interested in purchasing.
This is something we'll never, ever forget, and it's an unfortunate memory.
Officers headed to the home on Sharon Avenue in Wyoming after a neighbor called authorities about a possible break-in.
And you said it was a black car, a black Mercedes? It's a black Mercedes.
A man with a black Mercedes had been arrested at the home for unlawful entry on July 24th.
Karen.
It was the same person.
What you say?
Karen.
Speaking with Chief Coster, I said, hey, and she expressed, well, they didn't know that he was still in custody, or they didn't know that his car was in the impound. Well, that's my point. They should, though. So you don't show up in a tactical way to do that type of business that we, all the three of us, me, Roy, and Sammy, intended they came there to do, which is to threaten us into submission. There was no, let's understand this situation. Let's just go a little bit further to make sure that we don't impact someone's life or accidentally shoot and kill someone. And that, to me, is disturbing.
In the Wyoming Department of Public Safety's release regarding the incident, it states 2 of the 5 responding officers had their guns drawn during the incident. Brown says that's not the case.
I don't feel like some of that quite matches up in regards to some of the quotes and statements there that there were 2 officers only with handguns.
Oh, that's bullshit. So 2 cops is going to have their guns out and the other one's just sitting around looking? Please. They all had their handguns out.
I know for a fact that, well, I was there, so I saw 2 officers around the back and side of the home that have handguns. I hope that our council will be able to get some real footage that would give us a true account of everything that really happened.
The realtor also feels that no one should have been placed in cuffs.
In regards to the handcuffing piece, it would have been nice, or if someone would have come out and had a conversation with us prior to that even. Talk to us. Who's the lead officer here? Hey, keep your hands up. I'm going to come have a conversation with you.
Brown feels he, his client, and his client's teenage son were racially profiled. He's speaking out about the incident, hoping the department reviews how it goes about responding to these type of situations.
Well, it looks like the teen there may be biracial. Can we agree to that?
Maybe. Well, it's Wyoming, probably, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot where we were. Yeah, he probably is.
So we still keeping that as 5, only 5 black people that live in Wyoming.
Yeah. And so that other people don't go through the same experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to look, well, his skin tone is light, and I'm trying to look at his hair. It looked like he got that like Sha Bob type hair.
The poofy mixed kid hair that they got on TV all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Just one person, right? That doesn't have to go through it again. Then it's worth it. To just do the good Lord's work, right?
Brown is a realtor with 20 years of experience in the real estate field. He says buying a...
Why in the world do he got to give out his resume? That ain't the point. They always do that, want to give out their resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's been doing this for 30 years. So what? Doesn't matter.
Got nothing to do with what happened.
Exactly.
Home is an American dream, one that his client and his client's son have put on hold since the incident. Yesterday, we reached out to
They
Wyoming.
putting it on hold because they gonna say, fuck this little ass house. We gonna sue and get out.
What did dude say? I ain't buying this one.
Exactly. I ain't buying this one because I'm getting this is a damn three-bedroom house. Shit, I'm gonna get a 5-bedroom house now for all this lawsuit money I'm about to get.
Police about doing an interview regarding the incident. The department declined. Reporting in the newsroom, Ruben Juarez, News 8.
Well, I'm gonna give a little leeway to the police because my goodness, there's only 5 black people there, and the other black was the robber, so they didn't know.
And all I'm gonna say is, I mean, 9 times out of 10 it is a white neighborhood, but when you're black, like when you go to a white neighborhood, watch your back. And I'm talking about this is my experiences too of just like, you know, just know your whereabouts and just be careful and just expect things to happen because sometimes they will happen.
Well, the thing is, when the cops had rolled up, you could look at the door and obviously tell if it's a break-in or not. Now they're in the front, and in the back, and you can look and tell if it's obviously a break-in. Now, a house that's on a market has, I don't know how it is in other states. You know how they have those lock boxes with the combination lock. When they have that on there, they will have it on there, and the lockbox will be open, which means he would have the key to the house.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Saying like you said, the other robber probably was black. So again, you in an all-white vicinity, you better be on your P's and Q's.
Right. And all the cops had to do his ass is like, look, we got reports of a break-in. Can you show me the keys? That's the thing. I would have asked him, like, show me the keys to the place. Because you could look at the door and tell if it was a break-in or not. Show me that you have the keys, and you don't have to pull out your darn real estate license. Because I've never seen anyone do that before. Like if you got the key, if you got the lockbox open and you got the keys, then obviously you're a real estate agent. So we could just get on and leave.
Exactly, but you know how that goes.
Right. So shout out to, like you said, Roy Thorne and his son, because they said, well, I ain't buying this house because we just gonna hold it. We just gonna hold our money up and wait till we get that big windfall from this lawsuit and shit. We can get ourselves a mansion. We can live where where's Wyoming? Who lives in Wyoming? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they got big mansions there and big houses there in Wyoming. They're gonna get one of them. Get one of them houses on 20 acres or something like that.
I would.
Exactly. So Jay, you in education. This is a story from May. We got a Baltimore student passes 3 classes in 4 years, but yet ranked near top half of his class with a .13 grade point average. Here's the report.
Discovery out of a Baltimore City high school where hundreds of students are failing.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, we found a student who's passed 3 classes in 4 years and is ranked near the top half of his class.
We're not letting none of this get the best of us. All right? Be strong, son. We got this.
He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably would start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
This coming June is when Tiffany France thought her son would receive his diploma.
And I'm just trying to fight. He like, Mom, what was all this for? What did I do this for? Like, don't he get a chance? Do he get a chance?
But after 4 years of high school.
Now, did you see that? Now, this guy having passed what, 3 classes? Three classes in 4 years.
Video games.
Exactly. And they're showing up. You would think that they would say, like, set him up like, hey, look, pull a book out and act like you reading the damn book or something. He's sitting up there in the room. He's sitting up there in the damn room playing video games. And this is the mom and his fault. They're trying to, well, we'll get to read. This report is rather long too, by the way, y'all. It's 6 minutes. But I'll get to what I think about it afterwards.
School. This mom just learned her 17-year-old has to start over.
And he's playing NBA 2K2. I can tell from the lettering on the television. He ain't passed the class, 3 classes in 4 years, and they got him playing video games. It's like is this a joke or something that whoever produced this? And you see how it's got like the cinematic feel, how the camera is scrolling around.
Well, they know he wasn't reading a book, man, because he only passed 3 classes in 4 years.
Well, shit, he could have fake like it. He pulling the book out and writing some shit. They got
just
him
show him
playing
at a
video
desk.
games.
I say just show him at a desk. That's it. All they got to do, show him at a desk with a pen and pencil. Don't show him playing video games.
True. That's ridiculous there.
He's been moved back to 9th grade.
Why would he do 3 more years in school? He didn't fail. The school failed him. The school failed at their job.
No, it didn't. You failed as a parent. That's number one. You failed as a parent. It's his fault and it's your fault. It's his fault because he's up age. He know what he was doing, and it's your fault because you weren't keeping track of him. The school is in 3rd place. The school ain't your parent. The school gonna do what they do, but it ain't. But the school, if the school want to pass them along, that's the school. But it's your fault because you should have been up on that, and they'll get to why I believe this way. But here we go.
He failed. They failed. That's the problem here. They failed. They failed. He didn't deserve that.
France's son
attends
Savage Institute of Visual Arts in West.
What you said?
I don't like her attitude already. Talking about it's their fault.
Yep.
She's going overboard.
Oh, you'll see why it's her fault.
Baltimore. His transcripts show in 4 years he has passed just 3 classes, earning 2.5.
And I said to myself when I saw this, I said, I guarantee one of these classes is gym.
Of course, man. Of course it's going to be. Well, he failed personal fitness, but he passed health. How do you fail personal fitness?
Hey, he got a B in that one. He killed it. He killed health ed.
We all know health is a joke of a class anyway. But I don't get how you fail personal fitness. He must have just skipped that one.
And what's the fundamentals of art? Is that just regular art class?
I guess so.
All right, but what's fine arts? Drama, is that acting class?
So that's acting, yeah.
Okay. And plus another thing, these kids got some good ass classes. Cause back then we only had math, health, chemistry.
Don't jump on that too quick. They might sound all right, but depends on the teacher and what kind of materials they got.
All right, but they got a SAT prep class. I ain't have shit. I ain't have nothing about no SAT prep stuff. And then this fine arts drama and fundamentals arts. It sounds so interesting. These kids got it made.
Nope. Just it depends. In second, well, we'll get to that later. Just go ahead with the thing. We'll get to that though.
All right, here we go.
Half credits, which places him in 9th grade. But France says she didn't know that until February. She has 3 children and works 3 jobs. She thought her oldest son was doing well because even though he failed most of his classes, he was being promoted. His transcripts show he failed Spanish 1 and Algebra 1, but was promoted to Spanish 2 and Algebra 2. He also failed English 2, but was passed on to English 3.
I'm just assuming that if you are passing, that you have the proper things, to go to the next grade. And, the right grades, you have the right credits.
As we dig deeper into her son's records, we can see in his first 3 years at Augusta Fells, he failed 22 classes and was late or absent 272 times.
That's my point. So you didn't know he was absent all those times? That's my point right there. That kid wasn't even fucking going to school. And she trying to blame the school. Is the parent number 1, he's number 2. Or we can switch. He could be the first one and she could be the second one. But the school is in 3rd in terms of what to blame. Because the school shouldn't have been passing him along. I give you that. But that dude wasn't even going to school. And she had no even knowledge of it.
Well, let me stop right there, though. The school still has to contact the parent, though.
Oh, it's coming up.
Okay.
It's coming up. They talk about that. I remember when. I'll get to that.
But in those 3 years, only one teacher requested a parent conference, which France says never happened. No one from the school told this mother her son was failing and not going to class.
Yeah.
France's son, in his 4 years at Augusta Fells, earned a grade point average of 0.13. He only passed 3 classes, but his transcripts show his class rank is 62 out of 120. This means nearly half of his classmates, 58 of them, have a GPA of 0.13.
See, stop that.
Go ahead.
See, that's a systemic thing right there. That's a school issue right there. If you got that many kids failing at that school, that's a huge problem. That's embarrassing to not to the principal, but even to whoever runs that city or that district.
Right.
You can go ahead.
Kid, like he didn't deserve that. Where is the mentors? Where is the help for him?
You as mentor, you as help, ma'am. Stop looking at other people to help you out. No, I'm serious. Stop looking at people to help you out. If you have somebody, a big brother, a little brother program, all right, that's cool. But don't be looking for somebody to help you out, ma'am. That's your fault. You never looked and said, "Well, look, let me see your report card." Because I remember I had to show my mom my report card.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier before you stopped it. She's just too busy pointing a finger at everybody else.
Hate that this is happening to my child.
In your opinion, did the school...
And I would tell player, I would say, well, look, man, you might as well just go and get a GED.
Yeah, and second of all, with the mom, she shouldn't have even done this interview. She's looking real bad, dude. Like, she's embarrassing herself a lot.
Oh, she definitely don't feel that way. You know, this is a win for her.
I know she don't, but just on the outside looking in, it's like, yo, like, she ain't got no friends, man. For real. I would have been like, yo, don't get in front of the camera, please. Don't do it to yourself.
All right.
System fail this child?
Absolutely.
This city school administrator who works inside North Avenue asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation.
That school community failed this student.
This administrator told Fox 45 News city schools failed because it has protocols and interventions set up to help students who are falling behind or have low attendance. In France's son's case, they didn't happen.
I get angry. There's nothing but frustration. We see on the news the crime that occurs, the murders, the shootings. We know that there are high levels of poverty in Baltimore. Things like this are adding to that.
These children are why I do this work.
Dr. Sonia Santelises was school CEO 4 years ago when France's son was a freshman, but she will not interview with Fox 45 News. Instead, we received this 2-page statement, which explains what should happen when a student is chronically absent or failing. The district says students received a letter about their academic status this past summer, and records can be accessed through the campus portal. When a student is absent, an automated call is placed to the number on file. The statement also said the school conducted recent home visits and the student's parent visited the school. But France says none of that happened. What this statement does not address is why France's son was promoted despite failing classes. It doesn't discuss his...
See, I believe that the school did send voice calls, and they probably sent letters to the home too, but she's working 3 jobs, so she don't even see the mail. They'll just take the mail and just throw it in the trash. That's why I said I blamed them two before I blamed the school. The school shouldn't have been promoting them. They're right, absolutely right about that. But they were getting calls and mail from about the school about what he was doing and doing whatever. She said she worked 3 jobs. So how was you going to get the mail?
That's true.
And by the way, I was going to say with the voice calls, I never hooky school, and you know how people hooky school and go to this place and go to the gallery and go to the movies. See, I never did that. When I wanted to stay home from school, I just stayed in the house. And I used to always make sure that I got to the phone first.
That's what they all do, yeah.
Where they called, and they would call, and my mom would be sitting there. So I'll be like, oh, and it's the recording is going, yeah, your son wasn't in school today and all that stuff. The recording is still going on. I'm like, oh, no, you have the wrong number. What's your what you looking for? Who you looking for again? No, that ain't the.
You know what? But with this though, I do wonder what the history is with administration, because, and I'm not pulling the blame off the woman at all. Like I agree, she is like one or two.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the administration, you can tell it's in a rough neighborhood. It's mainly black children there in a rough neighborhood.
Right.
A lot of them teachers and administrators don't even care. And like I'll use my school as an example. Sometimes administration messes up on stuff too. Sometimes people just don't pay attention. And sometimes things do fall through the cracks. Again, I'm not saying that she's not at fault, because she is. She plays a very major part in it. But I do think the school does have a bigger part to play in this to some degree. Because some of these schools just don't care in these neighborhoods. See, I always hate the narrative that, these black kids and these ghetto spots, their parents tell them not to go to school and they don't care. Sometimes no. In these poor neighborhoods, they got terrible teachers. The teachers barely get any good benefits. Administration, they don't get paid much either, so they don't really care about their jobs.
Right. Which it should be that your salary should depend on what, especially when it comes to like the principals of the school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your salary should be on how many kids graduate or pass. I don't know how you want to put it, because like
point average.
Right. Because like you say, with teachers and all you could just like show up and not do anything and still get paid. The only way you'll get fired if you have sex with the kid or put your hands on them. But other than that, you won't get fired because of the kid's poor performance. And that's the problem right there. That's
Exactly.
the problem with school.
Well, another thing too is that they're real desperate for teachers. But I'll tell you one thing too. I look more at administration more than the teachers though, because I'm like, how does the principal get by on stuff like this, especially when you have that many kids with low GPAs? Like I'm really happy with the principal at my school, because he really cares about like what the students do. He cares about data and their performance. And looking at him, and then looking at this situation, I'm like, yo, how does this principal not get under fire? Or the superintendent, because the superintendent oversees all that.
Right.
And this is, and my bad for hogging it, but this is making me glad. This is making me glad that I do not plan on teaching for more than 5 or 6 years. Because after 5 or 6 years, I'm doing something different. I'm getting out of this teaching thing after a while.
All right, here we go.
Class rank, or the 58 other students with a GPA of 0.13 or lower. But it does say North Avenue is reviewing actions that impacted student outcomes at the school prior to this year.
It took a lot for me to just build the courage to do this.
If you were to talk to this mom, what would you say to her?
I didn't have a hand on this student, but I work for city schools. So he is one of my kids. I would hug her and I would apologize profusely.
And he feels embarrassed, like he feels like a failure. And I'm like, you can't feel like that. And you have to be strong. And you gotta keep fighting. Life is about fighting. Things happen, but you gotta keep fighting. And he's willing. He's trying, but who would he turn to when
she's talking like he's not even responsible?
That's my issue with this, man. That's why I said earlier, she ain't got no friends, bro. You can't be on camera and sit there and point all the fingers when you need to pay attention to what your child is doing. Especially when it's the older child, because the older child, she's a single mom, right?
Yes.
So the older child has that certain responsibility to help maintain order in the household, because she got 2 other kids. Why is she making all these excuses for that kid?
Exactly, because like you said, if she was my friend, I'd be like, well, shit, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you got to start going to parents, teacher. Okay, you already know this stuff is going on. You got to say, well, let me see your report card. And do they still do like I guess you would say in the middle of the school
The
semester.
progress report.
Yeah,
they still
yeah.
do
This is,
progress reports. They do
okay.
that. That's
Okay.
you're supposed to notify. See, that's the time period when you notify parents if something's going wrong with your kid, and that's when the parent themselves is supposed to get information about that. Because if there is an issue, that's when they contact the teacher or whoever they need to, counselor or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. She should be like, well, when's the progress report? When you get your
Yeah.
progress report? And if he's vague, oh, I don't know. All she had to do was just call the school. So
Exactly.
it's her fault.
And make sure she sets a date to know when that information comes. Because if that kid doesn't bring it, again, like you said, she could call that school and get it herself.
Exactly. Well, we almost done. We got about a minute left for this report.
People that's supposed to help him is not. Who do he turn to?
France has pulled her son out of Augusta Fells. He is now enrolled in an accelerated school program at another high school in West Baltimore. She is told if he works hard, he could graduate by 2023. And if you would like to read City Schools' entire page statement, we have posted it on our website, foxbaltimore.com. I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
See, I'm with you. He should just get his GED.
Right. I would have told him to like, look, the community college. The community college is the ones that have GED classes, right?
Usually, yeah.
Okay, I would just say like, look, you might as well just enroll in a GED class. Now you supposed to be graduating. Now you won't be able to graduate until 2023. You're gonna be like 20-something years old in high school. No, you might as well just go ahead and get your GED class. Nothing wrong with having a GED. You can still go to college with that. Judge Mathis, all he have is a GED, and he became a judge / TV show host.
See, with this situation, this is why I said I'm not going to stay in teaching for that long, because you deal with parents like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they're at fault and they want to point the finger at the teacher or the administration, when a lot of times it's their own fault. And then like what she was doing, they're protecting their kid. So whenever the kid comes back in the classroom and they do whatever they want to do and they distract other people and you try to stop it, you're at fault by the parent.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they can switch. The son and the mom can switch from one to two.
Yeah,
it's both of their fault. And then again, the school, again, like we said, the school is responsible because they should have been passing him along. But I do believe the school was sending recordings and sending things in the mail. But she's not home. She worked 3 jobs. So all they get the mail and just see all that stuff and just throw it in the trash. Because that's what I would do if I was a kid. I throw that shit right in the trash or burn it. I burn it first. so she won't go looking in the trash, or I just go outside and just dump it in the a public trash can or something somewhere. I want to throw it away in the house. Yeah, I want to throw it away in the house because she'll see it. She can open it up and see like what mail is this in the trash. Set that thing on fire outside. Dad, that's right. She won't know. She worked 3 jobs. She don't see all that stuff. I believe the school was sending him stuff like that, but the school shouldn't have been passing him along. And boy, those classes seemed nice too. All I had was art, physical education.
But you're talking about a different time period, though. I mean, of course, they're going to update the curriculum and add more things to it. But at the end of the day, no matter what kind of classes you have, it still depends on the curriculum, and it still depends on the teacher, and it still depends on administration.
Right.
Because them classes do sound nice, but I mean, think about what neighborhood he's probably in, right? Think about where the school might be. I mean, it's in Baltimore. You know, Baltimore has that rep for being rough in certain places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it don't even matter. The class names don't even matter. You know, it's probably a bunch of teachers just sitting there doing whatever they want to do if they're passing these kids and they're failing. So they're not doing their job, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them, but some of them probably ain't doing their job much.
Well, we stand in education. This time in Colleyville, Texas, a high school principal in Colleyville says his bosses ordered him to remove a photo of him embracing his wife from social media. Colleyville Heritage High School principal James Whitfield has faced sharp criticism from some parents who are accusing him of teaching critical race theory. they'll get into what critical race theory is if you don't know. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, the people out there.
Right.
Well, here's the report.
In Colleyville says he was ordered to remove this photo of him and his wife from social media.
Go ahead.
You didn't say it was a black and white couple.
Oh, I want you to. They'll get to all the race stuff.
That's gonna be a huge. But this for the listeners, that's a huge factor already.
Yeah.
I could already see it coming.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Yeah.
Media. Dr. James Whitfield has faced sharp criticism from some parents who are accusing him of teaching critical race theory.
One of those parents also complained about the photo. Dr. Whitfield is only talking to NBC5, and here's our education reporter, Wayne Carter.
It was supposed to be a celebration for Dr. James Whitfield and his family. Whitfield named principal of Colleyville Heritage Middle School 2 years ago. But before he could pop open the champagne, his boss called.
They are so funny with their little lines and shit.
And asked him to check his email.
So I kind of looked at my wife like, I don't know what's going on.
He looked online and immediately saw a photo he and his wife took on the beach, a photo shoot by a professional photographer on their anniversary.
So I look at the picture and then I look at the words above it, and it says, "Is this the Dr. Whitfield that we want leading our schools?"
This is why I could never be principal. This is why I can never this is why I don't do social media, ladies and gentlemen. Good God, man.
And plus a lot of people got time on their hands.
Too much time on their hands.
Right. If you got a family, a husband, a wife, and a job, what the fuck do you got time to be worrying about what principal is kissing his wife? And ain't no random woman, it's his wife with a child. With children together. You don't have time to be doing shit like that, but they sure can find time to be on that social media and all that stuff doing shit like this.
That's why I do not want to be principal or none of that stuff. I want to be behind the scenes.
Who immediately she begins to well up, with tears.
What did that mean to you?
I see a black man with a tattoo on his arm.
There's the black man, the tattoo, but also my wife is white. And
ladies and gentlemen, she's not the stereotypical big white woman. She's good looking and thin. That also has a lot to blonde hair too.
Blonde hair, yes, I was gonna say blonde hair is a major factor.
Right, that has a lot to do with it also.
Yeah.
He's not with a stereotypical woman that they say that a black man would get with, or a white woman that a black man would get with. Mm-hmm. She's not that. And that has a whole lot to do with it, because this woman here can get any man that she probably wants. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's thin. Here we go.
I'd like to believe that there was some universe where that
and a little kid is sitting there like, why am I on here?
That's what I was thinking.
Why he sent that message.
Whitfield, one of the first African-American principals in the district, has been accused online and in board meetings of promoting the belief that white people are inherently racist. It's something he and the district have denied. Stressed over the accusations, Whitfield said he couldn't shake the photo incident from his head.
What did the school district say to you?
They said if you could take it down. And I asked, why? Like, what's wrong with the picture?
What did they say?
It was, hey, we're just trying to avoid, any conflict.
Grapevine Colleyville ISD said in a statement, some of the photos the district received contained poses that are questionable for an educator, especially a principal or administrator. It had nothing to do with race. We wanted to provide a smooth transition.
If he was posing in those same pictures like that with a black wife, they would think that was just so amazing that, oh, he loved his wife. He's got pictures of her on social media and all that type of stuff. Now, here's a guy that's posing with a black guy that's posing with a white woman. Boy, that has a lot that they saying it doesn't have anything to do with race. It has a lot to do with race, because who would care if she was black? Who would care?
They wouldn't have said anything. It wouldn't have been an issue.
Exactly. Oh, they would have been liking the photo, like, oh, that's so sweet. He loved his wife and all that type of stuff. No, it's because he's with her. He's doing these poses with a white woman, his wife. I don't see what the big damn deal is. That's a married man with his taking pictures with his wife, and they got a kid together. So what he got pictures like that? Well, number one, I wouldn't have been looking at his pictures anyway. But
Exactly. Well, me personally, I wouldn't have put. I don't put too much on social media anyway. So I really can't say that I'd be in his shoes. But yeah, I agree. Like you said, she's this skinny blonde woman. She's one of those women who could get another white guy. White men. If she walked down the street, white men wouldn't be shunning her. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So Texas has a black eye. Texas, what is it? Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. I don't know if I'm missing any other, but it's usually those 4 states that usually have something going on.
You forgot Louisiana.
Oh yeah, Louisiana too. I'm curious about what they're gonna say about critical race theory though. If they're gonna say any more about it.
I don't think so, but here we go. And another thing, speaking about that, I don't think that principal even will believe in that. If he thinks white people are inherently racist, why is he with a white woman?
Because he took her against her will.
Oh, okay.
He seduced her. That's that old narrative, man. You know how it is. That's how it's always been. We seduce them and we hypnotize them and take them back.
Right.
Transition for Dr. Whitfield, which is why we advised him of the concern and made a request for the photos to be taken down.
I think it's sweet. He's a happily married man. It's him and his beautiful wife. They have a beautiful family.
Parents from
And this white woman is on our side.
Colleyville Heritage learned of the photo incident in a social media post Whitfield made over the weekend. This mother supports Whitfield fully and says whether race or poses, there was no reason to censor him.
And I chalk it up more to educators are just held to a different standard. Unfortunately, I think it is silly.
Whitfield says he's humbled and regrets he held this in for so long.
I wish I would have had the conviction to say, no, I'm not going to take it down. That's a picture of me and my wife kissing on the beach. There's no reason for me to take that photo down.
A petition in support of
So he took the picture down. That's what he's saying?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Well, like you said, I wouldn't have had that shit on there anyway. But if I did, I wouldn't have took it down either. I'm like, so what? I'm with my wife, and we on the beach.
My guess is that he was new, but they said second year, right? Or he just started. Yeah. And then one key thing was that they said he was the first black principal there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he probably figured, hey, I don't want to stir up any trouble. I'm already the first black such and such here, so you know.
Whitfield already has hundreds of signatures. Wayne Carter, NBC5.
Well, shout out to Lil Wayne for having a job. He's a newscaster. He raps. He do a whole bunch of shit. Shout out to Lil Wayne. But yeah, it's almost much ado about nothing. But I wouldn't have took it down. But like I said, then again, I wouldn't have had all that. Like you said, I wouldn't have had all that shit on there anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think he believes in critical race theory with a white wife. I'm sorry.
No. See, people get critical race theory twisted. It's not so much about him saying, yo, white people are critical race theory is just basic history. That's it.
Right.
It's just pointing out what happened. I like how they switched it up. Critical race theory. No, it's just history. It's history. The bullshit that they call history in school isn't history. All right. That's just promoting. That's just basically lifting up what white people did throughout history, basically. What Western civilization did. That's all what it is. So, yeah, because they gave a different definition of what critical race theory really is. He can believe in it if he's with her, but not what their definition is.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, well, shout out to him. I guess he's still the principal there. Shout- I'm just thinking about how they saw that man on that picture with that white woman. They said, "Oh shit, no."
Mm-hmm. Like, oh no. Oh no.
Right. So I want to play the clip with on a Laura Ingraham show where John Taffer, the host of Bar Rescue, Paramount Network, I think it is. I want to call it Spike TV. I know it's not Spike TV no more. I think it's called the Paramount Network now. Compared regular working people to dogs. Here you go.
I'm not an economic professor. If you get $800 a week unemployment benefits, and you live with a partner who also is getting $800 a week unemployment benefits, $1,600 a week, Laura, $83,000 a year for that household in unemployment benefits. The median income in America is only $63,000. We're incentivizing people to.
Oh, the asshole with the math there just said that what was it, $83,000 a year, and the median income is 63. He said.
Mm-hmm.
So whoopee do, they got actually $20,000. Oh boy, you can buy a yacht with that money. You can buy a lot. You unemployed, you can buy a yacht. You can get a yacht and a Maybach.
Stay home. What if we gave that additional unemployment benefits to employers to incentivize people to?
The employers got enough.
Well, so they can like hoard the money and then like just pay people like in crumbs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Go to work.
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger is a pretty powerful thing. I don't mean physical hunger, because people who truly are in need help. I'm talking about people who can work but refuse to work. But the government is literally putting anvils in many.
How many people that can work but just flat out refusing to work out there?
Yeah, and sidebar, he has a very punchable face.
and maybe, and like me and my mom always say that maybe these people, because they say that the hospitality industry employment is down. I'm thinking maybe the people that was in hospitality, maybe they found something else to do. Suppose you was a waiter or something and you got laid off. No, not a waiter. Let's suppose that you're a cook and you got laid off. And you said, well, shit, I can be getting unemployment and I can still be doing caters or making plates on the side. Mm-hmm. Now, well, the question for you, if you getting unemployment and you got some catering business or you making plates on the side or whatever, would you be in a rush to go back to work that quick?
No.
Exactly. Maybe these people are finding different avenues. Or maybe somebody, okay, let's go back to the waiter. Maybe the waiter say, well, shit, I can do Uber or what's the other car? Lyft. Maybe I could do Uber and Lyft in the morning time. I can wake up in the morning like I'm going to work and do Uber and Lyft, and I can stop at around about 3 o'clock. And I can go to the gym or take a class somewhere or something like that. They're going to probably be getting the same amount of money if they were working a waiter job.
That's just called being smart. And I do see they're trying to like use that whole narrative again that if you continue working hard, then you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I want to know his history. How did he get rich? Where did his family get money from? Because very few people get rich off of hard work.
True.
So he's full of shit. She's full of shit for even entertaining. It was Fox News. But go ahead, man.
Like maybe we should just cut off unemployment, period.
So y'all can keep making money off of poor people. Got it.
Right. Well, like we said before when we talked about the GameStop, stock. When a little man, a common man, get a little win, everybody wants to be all up in arms. But the elites or rich people or whatever you want to call it, they've been getting tax breaks and all type of shit for a long time, and no one ever complained about that.
Yeah, they want to call out stuff that's unfair when they've been unfair the whole time. They're most of them, I'm not going to say all, most of them are rich because they cheated, because they were being unfair.
So a family of let's just say a family of 4 that both the husband and wife got laid off and they're getting an extra $20,000 over the median income, I would tell them to keep going. Now we know this ain't the extra unemployment benefits is going to end after Labor Day, September the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
So common sense wise, you already know this isn't going to last forever. But for now, I would tell them to keep going and getting that money. Why wouldn't you? An extra $20,000 in the house? Shit.
Because he's rich. See, this is a problem when like people love capitalism way too much. Like they take it too far. Ain't nothing wrong with capitalism, but when you take it too far, that's when it becomes a problem. Because any extreme is negative.
Right. Well, here we go.
Ways on people's shoulders, either through the mandates, regulations, and now through free money, which obviously we're all the piper eventually has to be paid. John, I want to ask you though about this idea of work-life balance, because look, no one wants to miss their kids growing up. No one wants to, you stay in the office your whole life, you never see your family. So that's really important. However, have we taken that a step too far when you think of, well, a lot of the millennials talking about, I need time for self-care. I don't know why I'm harping on that tonight, but the whole self-care movement is a little, my mother's not with us anymore, but she worked by the time she was 12 during the Depression. If she heard the self-care thing, I think her head would explode.
No, she'd probably be like, well, damn, now I wish I would have had that back then.
It depends on her background and what, like, during the Depression, she had a job during the Depression. So, was she really struggling that much? Because some people didn't have jobs, period.
Right.
It's called the Depression for a reason. So
exactly.
she offed herself with that one already.
Oh, self-care. Oh boy, if you have a mental health problem. So if I broke my leg, it's cool. But if I have a mental health problem, then oh no, something wrong with me. I'm too lazy to work. That's ridiculous.
And listen, look, this is Fox News. Whenever they were having the Black Lives Matter stuff last year, they needed self-care. Fox News needed self-care because they were going crazy and nuts over it. So miss me with all that shit.
I think that's right. I have a friend in the military who trains military dogs, Laura, and they only feed a military dog at night because a hungry dog is an obedient dog. Well, if we're not causing people to be hungry to work, then we're providing them with all the meals they need sitting at home.
Yes, everybody. He compared working class people.
Hey, he sounds like an overseer, man. If this was 300 years ago, he would have had slaves and he would have been straight up in that mansion just chilling.
Hey, what's wrong with slaves? See, the problem is you don't feed them. See, the problem with what you're doing, you don't feed them. You just feed them at nighttime when they're done.
He would have been straight up in that plantation just chilling. I'm telling you.
I'm completely with you, Laura. These benefits make absolutely no sense to us. And on top of the impact of not getting employees and not being able to run our businesses, in my industry, we have meat prices are up 10%, chicken prices are up 15%.
No, inflation is going to kill business. That's the next shoe to drop. The Democrats.
All right. Well, John Taffer got a lot of flack on Twitter last week about this, and he tweeted, regarding the interview I did yesterday, I want to sincerely apologize for using terrible analogy in reference to the unemployment situation. That was not my intention, and I greatly regretted it. My comment was an unfortunate attempt to express desire for our lives to return to normal. I recognize this has been a challenging year for everyone, and I am eager for the hospitality industry to come back stronger than ever. Who don't want the hospitality industry to come back stronger? I just feel as though that some people, they found a different way, and I wouldn't knock them for doing that. I'm not going to tell somebody, if you get unemployment and you can do catering of making cakes or making pies on the side, I'm not going to tell them to stop doing that and go back to work. I'm like, look, keep on doing what you're doing. That's what I would tell them.
His apology is bullshit, and he knows it. Just own up to what you meant. We know you got money. We know what you do. All right, like just say, yeah, I meant that. All right.
Exactly.
And that you want to keep making money. You don't like the idea of other people like getting money without working for somebody else while making that person richer. Because that's what they're doing at the end of the day anyway. When you work for a business and you're not at the top of CEO, you're making that company more money. You're making somebody richer. And he's that person who we're making richer. Yeah. So, dude, kill that noise, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Oh, this self-help. Like
I said, tell her grandma was in a depression with a job.
Exactly.
Yeah, you shut up, bro. Come on, yo.
You asked a lot of people. Okay, now mental health is a big thing, and you can take off of work if you have mental health problems and all that stuff. Back then, they wouldn't allow you to do shit like that. They would say, "Oh, you don't want to work and lazy," and they'll probably fire you if you went to human resources and said, "I need time off." If you had doctors, a doctor's note, you can't just go to human resources and say, "Look, I got mental problems. I need to take time off." You got to have some type of doctor note or something. But if you had came with a doctor's note back then and you said I have a mental health problem, they probably would. Oh yeah, you can take time off and then fire you and shit. But see, now
put you in a crazy house,
right?
You know what I mean?
So now mental health is a big thing, and you can do that. You can take time off for a mental health problem. So what's the problem? What's wrong with that?
Because they're not getting money from them people who aren't working. That's why. Like there's, I would really appreciate it if we had one person say, "Look, take your asses back to work because I need money." Just say it, bro. Just go ahead. We know what it is. Like people are going to do their fake outrage, but at the end of the day, when they go home and they turn everything off and they're by themselves, they're going to be like, "Well, yep, that's what I do."
Right. And again, like I said, who don't want the hospitality industry to do good? I like going to restaurants. I don't want to go in a restaurant where I got to wear masks and I got to sit with a booth with this plastic covering around it and all that stuff. So who really wants that?
People are worried too much about money.
Right. You can't even go to a local bar and sit at the bar without that plastic all around you and all that stuff. So this is ridiculous. Well, speaking of mental health, I want to give a shout out to, we already mentioned Lil Wayne. He's a reporter now. He's a reporter / rapper. To the rapper Lil Wayne on that Conversations with Emmanuel Acho. He did would you call that an interview?
Yeah, it was an interview. Yeah, a little short interview.
Yeah, he did an interview where he talked about mental health and his situation where he tried to commit suicide. So I'm gonna give a little shout out to him for doing that. That was really good. Right, and that made me a fan of his for doing that.
Yeah.
The last Lil Wayne CD I bought was The Block Is Hot.
Wow. You didn't even check for the Squad Up mixtapes?
I only check the stuff, like the little bit of stuff on YouTube, because I like the when him and Currency was together. Him and Currency made a good duo. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I just wish they had did more shit together. But they probably did more shit, but it's probably in the stash somewhere. But I only took like a little bit of songs here and there. And when he was dissing Lil Gilly Kid, when they had all that little conversation going on, I heard that song. What was the song? It was a song where he used Everlasting Bass instrumental. Everlasting Bass, Rodney O and Joe Cool.
Yeah.
That song, I like that song. He dissed Gilly the Kid on that song. He said a little line about Gilly the Kid on that song. So the mixtape, Lil Wayne mixtape days, I only caught like a couple. I never listened to a whole mixtape. But the last one, The Block Is Hot. I don't know. The Hot Boys went out first, Wordy. Which one was first? No, the Hot Boys was out first.
The Hot Boys were out way earlier, yeah.
I'm talking about the second CD. I'm talking about not the independent CD. I'm talking about the second CD.
Yeah, because Lil Wayne came. I think Lil Wayne was like second to last because was it Young Turk? I forget. Young Turk, Lil Turk, whatever. He came after Lil Wayne, so the Hot Boys is already out.
Yeah, Turk CD came out when all that shit with Juvenile and all that stuff was going down. So he caught like the tail end of it.
Yeah,
tail end of everything. But that was the last year. The last CD I bought of Lil Wayne's was The Block Is Hot. I think I still got it upstairs. So that made me a fan of him doing that. What was you about?
I thought you were about to say. Just the mental health thing is a major, again, especially with Black folk, because a lot of the stuff that he said, like I could see it, what he said about his mom, like not listening to whatever the hell he said.
Yes.
Until he tried to, kill himself. I mean, I've seen that so many times, and
right.
I think that just used to be. I don't know now, but that was just part of our culture. Because even for me growing up, my parents was like, you really don't have an opinion in much. So
Yes.
just listen to what we say and shut up. You know what I mean?
It's
And
funny.
it's no knock against them, but that's just how it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't really fault them because that's how they were raised. So
Exactly. That's
I mean,
culture.
right. It has to become a person that break that cycle. So when that time comes, when you start having children, you know not to do that.
Yeah.
So you can't really be, mad with them. I know you're not mad. I'm not. I know you're not mad. I'm just saying that,
Yeah, of
I'm
course
not
not.
really. I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking
Yeah.
to, the people out
Just
there.
everybody in general. Yeah.
Right.
Because that's, again, especially with black folk, man, like you got to understand, you know what I'm saying? They always say that whenever we act out or we do something, we get punished for it damn near tenfold than other people do.
Yes.
So the parents already try to train you in the house to be like, yo, shut up. All right. Don't put yourself, they're doing that to protect you. Or they did that to protect you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to understand where that came from, but also to not be mad at them. But at the same time, we live in a different era now.
Right.
So, it's okay for younger people to, express themselves and let things out a little bit more,
hmm It's funny because House Hunters, the TV show House Hunters.
Yeah.
And they have that family House Hunters where it's like the whole family go and look at houses and all that stuff, and they'll ask the kid's opinion, and the kid will say, "Yeah, well, I like this room because blankety blank," and my mom think that's like the oddest thing. because they're not paying for it. Well, why in the world they have an opinion on? I said, well, Mom, why can't they have an opinion? Of course, their opinion isn't final. They're not putting $1 into the house. But if they don't like the room because the window is facing this way, or I don't like where the bed is, it will be something like that. What's wrong with saying that?
See, I think a lot of that comes from just survival too with parents.
All right.
That's that survival mode. I think I talked to my mom a little bit about that too. And actually this happened, a little something similar happened to it was Thanksgiving and my cousin, she brought her son along, and we were over at I think we were over at your sister's house for Thanksgiving. And he noticed there was a PlayStation or something there, and he was like, "Mom, I want one." She was like, "Shut up, I ain't getting you nothing." But in reality, she didn't have the money, she couldn't afford it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff is just, just emotions and a mix of survival mode too. Because it's like, I need to keep this money for myself, but I don't want this kid to know that I'm poor or we're going through some things.
Right. So, well, shout out to Lil Wayne on that. Conversations with Emmanuel Alcho. It's on YouTube. Check it out if you haven't looked at it. And I think I dissed Emmanuel Alcho, Ocho, I'm sorry. I should know his name because he was a Philadelphia Eagle for a little brief period. I think I dissed him on one of these podcasts. I forget which one, because I thought that conversation with a black man was so damn stupid that he do.
Yeah, some of it is like kind of,
Oh! I did diss him because he does still do sports on Fox Sports, and I forget what they were talking about, and I was dissing him about that when I was talking to Philip about it. But I'm gonna give him props. I'll give you props if you deserve it, but I'm still going to diss you also. Yeah, that conversation with a black guy. Well, I just didn't know. You's an old ass man. What makes you think you don't know anything about race? And he's going to show you that all black people aren't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it comes a time where you got to stop worrying about what other people think and just.
True. Well, on to the movie review. I watched United States versus Billie Holiday. Lee Daniels directed and produced it, if I'm not mistaken. And here's another one. I gave him props on Concrete Cowboy. I'm gonna take it away on this one. The movie was based in. The movie was based in the 50s. She was doing a radio interview, and they were doing like flashbacks. So it flashed back to the late 1930s. I want to say 1937. Strange Fruit was a hit song, but the government didn't want her to sing it because they thought that it was going to start like a race riot. It's going to make black people revolt. Ladies and gentlemen, Strange Fruit was about lynching. Lynching. I don't know if it's Billie Holiday on Spotify. I don't know, but you probably can listen to the song on YouTube. The stories of the song is about lynching, and the government didn't want her to sing the song because they thought that black people was going to revolt. So they concocted a way they can frame her with drugs, because she was a drug addict. So what they did is they got a undercover FBI agent, a brother that was like going to the shows and all that stuff. So some kind of way he befriended her. Mistake number one. So the agent walked in with flowers, and it was a guy that worked with her. He was gay. So keep in mind, this is the 1930s now. Soon as the agent walked in, he had flowers in his hand. He was going to give it to Billie Holiday. Soon as he walked in, the gay guy hits on him. Now, this is 1930s now. There's no type of way that no gay guy is going to just hit on a straight guy just like that. That's not even acceptable in 2021. So it's definitely not acceptable in the 1930s. So he just walked up and he just started hitting on him, but the guy just like totally ignored him, and he started talking to Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday offered him drugs, of course. He didn't take it. So she was in the hotel with somebody. The guy busted her, and they busted drugs. They found heroin on her, and she found out that the guy was a cop, whatever. Okay, so that's one black guy that ain't shit. Her husband, who was working with the FBI, was like trying to force her not to do the song and all that stuff, and he was abusive, telling her to shut up. He was verbally abusive. He didn't hit her. He bad straight guy number two. So she went to jail and everything. So he got the FBI agent got felt bad for her. So he had went to jail and told her, well, the FBI agents was like, well, look, there was a license that they needed to perform. I want to say it was a cabaret license. I don't know if this is movie shit or real shit. I don't know. It was a cabaret license. So the FBI agent, the white FBI agent told the black FBI agent, like, well, we're going to take her cabaret license, so she won't be able to perform. I think you can only use the cabaret license in New York, or I guess New York was like a big place to perform, but you can still, you don't have to have the cabaret license if you go to other states. So he heard her. The guy heard the FBI agent talk about the cabaret license. So the black guy went to jail and told her to clean herself up because they still going to try to bust you. So she took heed and she kind of cleaned herself up for a while. So she befriended. She didn't have a cabaret license, so she befriended a nightclub owner, and the nightclub owner said, like, yeah, you could perform, because she'll put in big crowds. So he already liked it because he could make money or whatever. So they start sleeping together. Another thing, that Billie Holiday on the movie, any guy that said hi to her, she would sleep with him. So the nightclub guy starts beating her up, physically beating her up. So she's showing up on the concerts with black eyes and all that stuff. So bad straight guy number three. So then she befriended the FBI agent, came back into play again. So the nightclub owner is also working with the FBI, and he planted drugs on us. Now they were like in a relationship, like living together and all that type of stuff. So the FBI agent like, look, give me a hug, and he put heroin in her pocket. So the FBI came in and they busted her with heroin, and she was jailed again. So the black FBI agent had went and talked for her behalf on trial. So that made the FBI agents mad. So the white FBI agent called him a stepping fetching and all that shit. Am I losing you?
No, I'm right here.
So they said, well, you know what? So as a punishment, he had to follow them around when she go on tour. So they befriended each other. So first they didn't like him. He's a FBI agent and all that stuff. Oh, watch out! You better watch out! Here he come. Then they befriended him. and he shoots heroin also. They so close, they all shooting heroin together. So now her and the FBI agent, now they're sleeping with each other. So they having this old great relationship. You know, he really loved her, didn't, you know, abuse her or anything like that. And so I guess she felt, I don't know, that she was missing a bad boy in her life. So she got this other dude to come and pick her up. And she married him, and he was abusive also. So bad straight guy number 4, right? Yeah. So you know, he's abusive and everything like that. And so now that the black FBI agent comes back in the picture, gets in a fight with the husband, and the husband said, well, look, you can keep her. So now they back rocking and rolling again. And she's got sick cirrhosis because her liver was starting to fail. So now she's you know, she's sick, she's in the hospital. The husband comes back with the FBI agent and make her sign paperwork over to him. So and that's where the movie, and you know, they bust her with drugs while she was on heroin while she's dying in hospital room. They found drugs on her that the husband planted on her. So they locked her up, quote unquote, locked her up while she was on a damn deathbed, pretty much. So she passed away. So there's all this. It was only one. Okay, the FBI agent went from bad to good. So I don't know if you want to count him one of the bad black men. Every black man was worth a piece of shit in this movie, and I didn't like I didn't like all the plot was kind of now you think about it. I thought the movie, okay, it's called United States versus Billie Holiday. I thought it was going to be about the song, you know, all the stuff going on with the song. So she sung the song one time on the whole movie, and that was like towards the end. Say it again.
Oh, that was around the end of the movie.
Yeah, that was like towards the end of the movie when she sung Strange Fruit. Because everybody was like, okay, when the movie started coming on, you know, everybody was like, well, sing Strange Fruit. And she was like, no, I can't. Because, you know, the government, you know, didn't want her to sing the song. And her husband, the first husband, was telling her, you better not sing the song and all that stuff, because he was in the pocket of the FBI or the government. I don't know what you want to call it. And so the only props I'm going to give to the movie is the performances. Audrey Day, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah.
Okay, you can teach somebody to act, but you can't teach anyone to sing. And you know, she's a good singer, and you know, she stands out when she's doing singing performances like that because she has a good voice. So if you want to watch the movie just to see her sing, okay, you can look at it. But the movie was pretty bad, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 4. The only reason why I'm giving it a 4 is because of Audrey Day's appearances. I thought all the black men on there was all straight black men was full of shit. There was no good, and all the gay thing. You can do what you do. I really don't care, but there's no kind of way that no gay guy is going to hit on a straight man in the 1930s. On the 1930s like that. Oh, and like I say, that all the sexual stuff, because Audrey Day was naked like at least a good 4 or 5 times maybe. So she has a lot of sex scenes, in it. And well, I told you about the lesbian thing. They trying to hint it. They tried to hint that she was a lesbian, and so the lady, the white lady that she was messing with, they was walking to her apartment, and so Billie Holiday said, "Well, look, you gonna take me up into your room?" And so they was going up into the room, but the bellhop wouldn't let her on the elevator because they ain't allow black people to go on elevators because I don't know, you might get a disease or something if you be in an elevator with a black person. So they said, well, you had to use the storage elevator, and that's Billie Holiday wouldn't do it. And so the white lady said, "Do you know who this is, right?" So the bellhop knew who she was, but he was like, "Well, look, I can't let you up here because I'm gonna lose my job." So she got pissed off and walked out. So they didn't have relations with each other, but they was always hanging around each other. So the FBI agent interviewed, the white FBI agent had interviewed the white lady. I'm just gonna call her the white lady because I don't remember her name. So they had asked her about, being friends with her and say, yeah, there's a rumor that she was more than friends with women. Can you agree to that? So she didn't confirm nor deny it. So that says that she was going both ways. All the sex stuff was like, they totally could have just edited that stuff out because there's no need for it. Like, you don't need to, Audrey, they didn't need to show her breast 4 or 5 times in the movie. For what? What does it add to it? It didn't add anything to it.
Sounds like a regular trope.
Yeah.
Drug addict, hypersexualized black woman.
Exactly. And like, okay, so do you watch Snowfall?
I've seen it, but I've lost it. I haven't gotten back into it yet.
Okay, so the rival drug dealer on Snowfall, I don't remember his name on here. He was rock and rolling to her, taking drugs and all that stuff. So she had called him. Now she was like clean for a while. She called him and like begged him to give her some drugs, and he wouldn't do it. So she got mad at him. Like you said, it was like she was hypersexual, drug addict, and the only good thing about her is she can sing. That was the only good thing about her. And I'm like, it got to be more than Billie Holiday than just that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because this is like you said, this is the era where we talk about trauma and self-care, right?
Right.
So it would have been I haven't seen it. Based off of your review, I don't want to see it, but it would be interesting because I know, knowing me, I probably, based off of what you said and knowing me, I probably would have given it a lower rating. but it'd be interesting for them to like explain in the movie or show why she became a drug addict.
Right. Well, they kind of sort of did. They had like a drug induced dream of her mom was like a hoe, and they was all living in a brothel and all that stuff. And they kind of implied that they forced her into having sex when she was a child. So like you said, there was traumas there. Focus on that. Yeah, that was something to focus on. And then they could have focused on the song. Like the song, was it uprising black folks? Why did the government put a stop to it? And they have all that stuff going on. Not all this drug shit. Okay, her being arrested for drugs and everything. Can you put that on there? I mean, it was documented, so maybe you can. But all these straight now, all the guys that she done been around, none of them worth a quarter.
See, this is and there's no shot to the I'm gonna say it, the LGBTQ. Did I say that right? There's no shot to them, but I think, and this is what I've noticed in some of the TV shows and the movies, it's interesting that you talked about Billie Holiday and the racial situation she had with the woman, right? They have no issue talking about how rough black people had it. But whenever it comes to gay people, historically, it's always out in the open and everybody accepts it and there's only one person who's against it.
Right.
That's what I've always noticed in a lot of like media.
Right. Like the gay guy just hitting on a guy like that.
Yeah, he would have been dead.
Exactly.
He would have been dead. He would have been killed.
Right. Now, none of that stuff was in the open in the damn 1930s.
Yeah.
Yep. Soon as he walked in the room, he just like, he's like, look, is Billie Holiday here? And he was like, yeah, she in the room. And he start trying to talk to him.
Exactly. Like, I would actually like it a little bit more if they're going to keep including this sort of things happening, like the gay interactions, like, talk about the issues that were had, man. Like, exactly. It's people gloss over that so much, and I'm like, yo, y'all had it, dude. I remember being in the simple ass Bolivia, North Carolina, where there was this one gay white dude. And he got shitted on all the time because he was gay. That was just unheard of where we were.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, y'all can put that in there. Like,
right.
But this is what I'm talking about. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to show black people being kicked down and mistreated and stuff, but it's glossed over for a lot of other people though.
Right. They also could have talked about her being on I'm assuming since they took that cabaret license, I think that's what they call it, a cabaret license. She had to perform on that quote unquote Chitlin circuit, and she was a big star. So you can talk about that.
The Chitlin circuit. That's hella important for black folk, black history right there. Just entertainment history, actually. Not even. I mean, yeah, it's important for black history, but just entertainment history. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about her in the record industry, because I'm pretty sure she probably was screwed. She's black. She's black. She's a woman, and she's a drug addict. So they probably screwed her over money.
Yeah.
So they could have focused on a whole bunch of stuff. The sex scenes, and these was like graphic sex scenes too, by the way. Like she was getting banged on a dresser by the evil club manager. She was getting banged on the FBI agent. They had rough sex on the bed, and then the FBI agent said, "Well, wait a minute," and so he wanted to make passionate love to her. And then they stopped the rough sex, and then they start making passionate love to each other. And keep in mind, like I said, her breast was all out in the open, by the way. If you like Audrey Day and you want to see her breasts, you can go and watch that, because you'll see them about 5 or 6 times on the movie.
Okay, well, you know what they were going for, sex sells anyway.
So I'm gonna give a negative to Lee Daniels. I gave him a positive on that Concrete Cowboy, but I'm giving you a big negative on this stuff. And that's another thing too. When they say like, "Oh, this is an Oscar, this is a Best Movie Award, could be nominated for a Best Movie Award," you be thinking like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." And when you see that shit, you're like, "Well, what the fuck is this?" It's the same thing as that what we talked about. What was it called? That One Night in Miami, or Meeting in Miami?
Yeah.
And I looked at that. I'm like, "Well, what's the big
horrible.
deal?" Right.
It was horrible. It was so bland, and the
Very
writing was
bland.
horrible, yo.
Yes, and then the other thing is the fight scene with Muhammad Ali. They could have easily edited that out. That was like the most horriblest fight scene in movies ever. Yeah, that was such a bad film. And you think that Regina King is going to win the Best Director?
I think they do that just because it's a person of color, and they feel like they have to, include them in the discussion.
Okay.
Oh yeah, well there's this story about this, historical black person. Okay, good, perfect. We put that in the running. That's what I imagine.
Right, because if we want to go there, I would put Concrete Cowboy will be up for awards next year, right? Because it came out like March, April. So that'll be
it came out in the spring.
Yeah, that'll be next year's Oscar, but I think it'd be too late for them to get an awards for that. But I wouldn't mind, but they'll be like at least in the running. I don't know if they'll get nominated, but at least in the running for that film, because that was a good film. Other than all the street shit, but that was probably one of his better films. But this shit right here, absolutely not.
Well, as I said,
if you want to give Audrey Day a Best Actress nod, I'll give you that, because like I said, you can teach someone how to act, but you can't teach anyone how to sing. Mm-hmm. Just how like Jennifer Hudson is doing Aretha Franklin. She's perfect for Aretha Franklin. Yeah. You can teach somebody how to act, but you can't teach no one to sing Aretha Franklin songs like that. Not how she can. So that's so perfect to have her playing Aretha Franklin. But what was you about to say?
Oh, I was going to say about Concrete Cowboys, it's not enough. It's too positive, I think. It's too positive. It's too many black men in it. Straight black men.
Right.
Yeah, it's not enough violence. It's not enough hood stuff in it. Mm-hmm. There's not enough, gay or bisexual or trans or, whatever in it.
Right.
So it's going to go under the radar.
And like I said in the review, they could have focused on just gentrification of the neighborhood, how the neighborhood changing, how all the horse stables around here is closing down for gentrification. They building apartments and luxury apartments and luxury housing and all that stuff. They could have just focused on that. That'd have made it a good movie, because that'd have been the truth. Because that's what really happened.
Yep. They did kind of gloss over it a little bit.
Yep, they glossed right over it. And then like they had the owner of the horse stable, the lady. I mean, she's like the best dressed horse stable owner that you'll ever see. She never had a hair out of place. Her makeup was right. Her clothes was right. I've never seen a horse stable owner that dressed.
I haven't either. That's a good point. She looked pretty clean.
Well, four for Billie Holiday, United States versus Billie Holiday. I only given it 4 because of Audrey Day. This movie is on Hulu, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay, Hulu. All right, so now we're gonna have to talk about Married at First Sight. And during the text message, again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know people's names. We didn't talk about how the guy asked the lady that always keep mentioning how she lost 30 pounds during the quarantine to brush her teeth. Can I brush your teeth?
Brush your teeth? Yeah. She got mad. It make me feel like a baby.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just so weird. Like, why would you want to brush her teeth for? Is she handicapped?
Maybe he got some weird fetish thing going on or something. Maybe it turns them on. You know what I'm saying? Like feeding people, and some people like that. Like there's some men like to like totally take care of their woman to an extreme. You know, the daddy.
Right.
The daddy thing.
Can I brush your teeth?
Weird.
And we ain't talk about my girl Bao, who she
see, I didn't get why you said she was cool. She ain't cool to me. She too uptight, man.
Oh, she's very pretty. And that's what makes her funny. It's like she's just like so like, I don't know, it's like her mind is like constantly just working. I don't know. It's something going on there. Like you said, she's like just too wound up. We ain't talk about how she started crying because he had made a joke about her snoring. And she thought about that shit all day long too.
Hell yeah.
So all day long they didn't had that picnic. They going out. No, first they had that beach. Well, it wasn't the beach. They was in the swimming. They were swimming with each other in the pool.
She had the bathing suit.
Yeah. They had that little picnic together. And then they get in the bed. My man thinking that he was going to get some, and she started crying because he made fun of her because she was snoring early in the damn morning.
She made it a huge issue too.
Yes.
Man. That was a mood killer.
And he like, how about when they had the separating pillow? Look, can we move this pillow? And then she started mentioning the snoring thing. I'm like, good God, man! If you snore, you snore. So what?
Yeah, it makes me wonder like how both of them were raised, because he seems more laid back, and I wonder like how.
Another thing with him is he seems more I don't know if this is a wrong way to say it. Would you call it homogenized or Americanized?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at, because yeah, he's more Americanized, so he's gonna be more laid back. I wonder like if she was raised more traditionally, especially too. She's the only woman. She's the only sister in her family. I think she had 2 other brothers, right?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
It was 2. It was 2.
Okay, so yeah, there's more protection on her, and she's the only girl. So I wonder if they they made it more traditional, because I mean, this is just my experience, and I'm not stereotyping Asian women at all, because I'm married to Korean women, but based off of culture-wise, I'll just put it like this: culture-wise, through the American lens, in my experience, a lot of Asian women who are more traditional, they would seem way more uptight than somebody who grew up over here, or who just didn't have that much of a traditional culture. They were more homogenized, like you said. Right. So I wonder if that plays a part in how she is compared to him.
And the look on his face when she started crying, because she was small. He like, oh, like, damn, I thought I was going to get something. I got to deal with this shit. And then she was like, well, look, if I store much, maybe we should just sleep in separate bedrooms. Like, ma'am, it ain't that deep. Like, goodness gracious.
Makes me wonder, like, how many people she's been with. It couldn't have been that many.
Right. She said,
really couldn't have been that.
I went to summer camp, and I stayed up all night because I was just so afraid that I'll just start snoring.
Yeah. Nah, honestly, she sounds like some of my wife's friends. Like dead serious. Like my wife does have some friends who are kind of like that. They're originally from Korea, but they grew up in Canada. Some of them, I'm not gonna say all of them.
Mhm.
There's just like one or two of her friends, one, two, or three of them who are kind of like her.
Mm-hmm. And we also a guy we ain't talk about, the COVID dude. And he's an idiot too, because he's talking about, oh, I just hope she will forgive me. Like, did you meant to get COVID on purpose? And she's like such an idiot. Like she wants to be next to him and all that stuff. And it's like she's mad at him because he got sick, as if he wanted to get sick.
She fell in love with the idea of being married and stuff, and it's the fairy tale thing.
Right.
Oh, my man is sick. I gotta be around. No, stay away from me.
I just hope she forgives me for this.
No, she won't, bro. We already saw it in the upcoming trailers, man.
Right.
It's going to be held against him.
Right. Well, we already can tell that she's a piece of work too, but just by the way she acts. And now we're gonna have to go on our brother, fireman brother, and the lady starts complaining about the damn. It says the hotel says something beach on it, but it wasn't like really near beach. And she complained about how it wasn't a beach at the hotel, and she asked him about it, and he didn't care. What man give a damn about if it's a beach on a hotel or not?
Look, my man is concerned about getting it in. That's it. Honeymoon, get it in as much as you can while you're out there.
Exactly. Oh, we also didn't talk about when they first night in bed together. And remember when he asked her, can he massage her feet? He's like, well, can I massage your feet? She's like, oh no, that won't be happening, because you already know massage your feet. That's just code word. Because you'll be massaging your feet, then you'll be massaging something else. So she was like, well, that's not happening. Boy, that woman is so damn difficult. And how about how he was? And remember how you said that all that stuff is going to cut deep to him.
Yeah, he's over there giving her jabs and stuff. It's light, funny jabs, but it's going to be hooks and uppercuts and knockouts and all that stuff.
Well, as you see that he's already tired of her ass, because remember when they was down at the pool area and he was talking about her, about how she was acting, and everybody was like, I wish she was here when he said stuff like that. Oh, it bothers him the way he act. And everybody's all lovey-dovey with each other, and he ain't nobody lovey. Let me see. Yeah, everybody's there lovey-dovey with each other. The 2-year lady, you got Bow and her man, and you got Brush My Teeth. They all lovey-dovey and hugging up to each other and all that
He's
stuff.
Sitting down there right by himself.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's definitely bothering them. Yeah. It's definitely bothering them. And somebody said on Twitter, why would they hook them two up together? Because he's like a blue collar worker, and she's and she's high maintenance. Why would you hook them two up together?
Because it's good for the show.
Exactly. That's what I said. I said they got to create something. You got to create something for them to. You have to have a good TV show. You have to have somebody to go back and forth with each other. They all can't be lovey-dovey with each other, because I won't want to watch that shit.
Nobody wants to watch that. That's why, the last season, Chris was the main dude.
Exactly.
He's like, if it weren't for him on that show, it wouldn't have been a show.
No, because you also have the muscle bound guy and the muscle bound. You have them two, and that 80 shit. That 80 shit just totally turned her off from the jump. And then she was like, well, look, I don't like you wearing them shirts. He changed everything for himself, and she still wasn't interested. And it was funny because I don't know if you remember at that reunion, Dr. Pepper is her name, the older therapist, not the young one. Yeah, I think it's Pepper. Dr. Pepper was hollering about, like, well, that man just changed everything for you, and she still wouldn't. How about when she complained that when they was at the batting cage that he didn't have sneakers on? He had his what did he have on, like cowboy boots or shoes or something?
There was some sort of boots from what I remember.
Yeah, like, what is he going to run the bases? He ain't running the bases. All he is just swinging at the ball. And she was like, well, look, you don't have one in these sneakers. Like, that's what, if he wants to wear those, that's what he want to wear. So what? A lot of people don't wear sneakers like that.
Like you said, yeah, it has to have some sort of conflict. They got to have conflict because it's boring if everything is a fairy tale.
Exactly. Like this guy just swept this woman. Well, it seemed like all of them is headed towards some type of confrontation because the brush my teeth dude, you know, she gonna get sick of that shit. Yeah. Oh, remember he was talking about the finances and everything. Like he gonna like break her off with allowance.
You know what? Like for her, because I remember she said something like she kind of didn't like how he was so into finances, and I'm like, yo, you should be happy that you know someone who's that deep into it. I mean, yeah, the allowance thing is kind of, you know, I could see somebody getting upset about that, but yo, being with a financially responsible, like financially sound person, that's a huge ass plus.
Yeah, that's true, but you know, a lot of women, they want to spend some money. They don't look at it that way. I'm glad my wife ain't like that. Yeah. A lot of women you will come in contact with ain't really on up and up on finances. And if you try to tell them something about it, they won't.
Get mad.
They won't listen.
You'll get mad. Yeah.
I have to tell you something too after we're done about that. Well, that's it for our review on 90 Day Fiance. Did you look at not 90 Day Fiance? I'm sorry. Married at First Sight. Yeah. Did you look at the 90 Day Fiance reunion?
Yeah.
Did you look at? Okay, you saw the first part. You didn't see the second.
I only saw parts of I just saw the preview for the second part. I didn't see all of the second part.
Yeah, because I told you on that Discovery Plus, they released
ahead of time.
Yeah, I think they released it on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But it comes on TV, you know, Sunday night. Yeah. And it was so funny with that former Brandon boy, his that wife did not want to be at that forum.
No, she didn't. I can't blame her.
And then when they talked about the house and they'll get him the down payment money, he was all cool with it. He was like, all right, but she was like, no.
I can't blame her though. I mean, it's like I can understand both point of views though, especially the situation with his dad.
Exactly.
But for her, I totally get it.
Yeah, because first of all, he lied to her. He never told her that he lived on a farm, number one, and he never told her that he lived on a farm with his parents, number two. So she's expecting to be in the city and going out clubbing and dancing and all that stuff, and she comes to the United States and she got to be on a damn farm slapping pigs. So, like you said, I see her point why she don't want to be there.
And also, a lot of people over the in other countries, they just assume that everything in the United States is like how it is on TV.
Like streets are paved with gold.
Yeah, like it's either they only know like usually LA, New York, and maybe Miami. That's about it. So they assume everywhere in the US is like that. And like you said, she was a go-go dancer and all this stuff. Like she trying to spend time at no farm.
Right.
And he should have known better.
Exactly. In an argument with what's the old lady name? So the old lady, she got weight loss surgery.
Angela, something like that. Angela.
Yeah, Angela. And then she gets some new breasts. Like, goodness, what is wrong? What was wrong with the breasts that she had?
She said that they were too heavy and like they were affecting her breathing in her back.
No, I'm talking about when she got the reduction. But then she added implants, right? Then she get the implants because them things were just sitting up right.
Oh, yeah. They did look fake. Yeah, you're right.
And now and she was going to a party with the Adebisi. That man looked just like Adebisi.
Dude.
At first she didn't want to say nothing. And I'm like, I know the doctor ain't trying to sleep with her or anything. He's like, no, he's just being nice, and took her home and all that stuff. Well, how did you get to the party? And how did you get sick at a party?
Exactly. See, if it were him, she would have gone off. She would have tore the whole place down.
Yep. And she's, like I say, I don't know what to call it, borderline racist or not. But can she be racist because she got all them damn mixed grandchildren around?
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You
kill
right.
that narrative. Yeah, people need to kill that narrative. Just because you sleep with somebody from a different racial background and you got kids by them and you perhaps maybe live around them does not mean that you cannot be racist. Let's get that straightened out right there. All right, because we see how she acts towards him.
Because she talks to him like he's a damn 5-year-old. Now, could it be an age thing? The reason why she talks to him.
I think that also plays the issue too.
But then when the aunt came on, she was talking to the aunt that way also.
You know what though? It's a race thing, and it's also how do I put this? It's kind of an American thing. I don't want to say it's American, but like to look down at other countries because they're not developed. I don't know what you would call that, but they're not as developed. And I know the situation with it. There's reasons why it's not quote unquote, and I'm saying quote unquote to develop. But yeah, a lot of people tend to look down on those kind of countries.
And I hate when people do that, like you're saying. And I also hate when they do that with food. Like, ew, no, I ain't eating it. Ew.
It's like, dude, you eat all sorts of shit at McDonald's and you don't know what the hell is in that.
Exactly. You'll tear a hot dog up in a minute and you don't even know what's in that damn hot dog.
Yeah, at least some people are actively, they grow this stuff, they kill it, they cut it, and they cook it, and they clean it. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah, I never liked that. Well, she was doing that when she was in Nigeria. Like,
Yeah, 'cause she got a pizza.
Yeah, and she went and got a pizza.
okay.
Like, ew, when they was in that market. Ew,
Yeah, what was it like? It was like a chicken or lamb being killed, and I'm like, yo, that's. I remember telling my wife that. She was like, oh, I don't like seeing animals slaughtered. I'm like, you see slaughtered animals, they're already slaughtered when you go to the store. How do you think they get there?
Well, hell, the barbershop that I tell you I went to,
Yeah.
next to it, they have would you call it a slaughterhouse?
Like
I don't know. They got no, it ain't a butcher, it's a slaughterhouse. They got like live animals there, and you pick the animal you want, and they'll take it in the back and kill it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, and I always say to myself, I guarantee you that chicken is probably good in there.
Yeah.
They got chicken. They got turkeys. They don't have turkeys all year round. Well, sometimes the door be open when I walk past and I see the animals that's in there. They got duck. I see duck in there. Turkey, I think they probably only have turkey like around the Thanksgiving time. I don't see turkeys all the time, but they sure got a whole bunch of chicken in there. Lamb. I seen lamb in there. I seen all type of animals. And you talk about crowded and people waiting for it. And I always say, I know that food is probably good. Well, they don't kill it in front of you. They take it to the back and kill it that way. But the only thing I want to know is how do they get the fur and all that stuff off the animals so quickly? Do you got to sit and wait for them to do, or is it a machine that just like automatically, zip everything off or whatever? Well, we off on a tangent again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, and this is a long one, also at 2 hours. So I appreciate you spending 2 hours with us. I'm talking to you, Jay, not everybody.
Oh, nah. It's a Saturday. Yeah, we're supposed to get a hurricane coming. Well, ain't no hurricane, but remnants, parts of it.
Right.
I'm up here, so I'm like, I ain't doing
it. Yeah, well, the thing is here, it was supposed to be raining all day, and it never rained once.
Yeah, so it's not raining out here either.
Right. So, all right, y'all. Y'all can reach the Judgmentals on Facebook, at Twitter at PNL Judgmentals, Instagram at _Judgmentals, TikTok at PNL Judgmentals also. And email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. I appreciate you, Jay, for doing this.
Oh, no problem. And sidebar about last week's Kanye West thing. I've heard the songs.
Oh shit! I forgot all about that. I didn't even write that down. So, Jeff, shout out to Jeff Baker, who what was the song that he said Jay-Z? It was Jay-Z on it.
It's some song off College Dropout.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
And what was your thoughts?
Nah.
and the lady told you it was a song with what's the girl name that
is it Tiana Taylor? That's her name?
Yeah, Tiana Taylor. What was that song?
I don't know.
And you only like the video because she's jumping up and down in it, right?
That's a great video.
But you don't like the song.
You know what? No, the song wasn't bad. because he wasn't really rapping much on it or anything. I think he was singing a little bit on it, but it wasn't like spurts. When I remember, the beat was alright.
Right. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Thanks for the people who well, a lot of people didn't give me songs. A lot of people just gave me comments like, yeah, I feel the same way, stuff like that. So yeah,
I'm not alone, because there was a with all this Donda stuff happening. I was like, yo, am I the only one? Like, what am I missing about this dude?
Oh, and a correction too, by the way, the album didn't come out. I thought I seen it, and I seen people talking about it. Maybe I think that concert stadium, I'm thinking somebody like Bootleg recorded it, and they were commenting on the song, because I saw it on YouTube, and I'm seeing people commenting on different type of songs. So that's why I seen it. So it didn't come out yet, but I think somebody bootlegged that performance at what stadium was that? That was Mercedes-Benz Stadium in New Orleans, right? Or was that Chicago?
I don't know. Like, you're talking to the person who was trying to figure out Kanye, bro. Like, I don't know.
Well, all right, y'all. Thanks.
Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my